Hello YouTube, and welcome to episode 3 plus maybe 4. We'll see what the people say of my Hanamonogatari reaction series, that being a part of the larger Monogatari reaction series. It's up to, yeah, I don't know, it could be season 2 or it doesn't matter, it really doesn't. I'm just talking for the sake of talking. Either way, we're going to watch some Monogatari today, and I'm very, very excited. We're in the middle of Hanamonogatari, and I'm having a great time. So we're going to continue with that here today. Just wanted to give a quick little bit of housekeeping slash shout out to the Oshinoko video that just came out this morning, actually. Yeah, that is a one-off for the first episode of Oshinoko. I was pretty happy with how it came out, so give it a click if you're that way inclined. You want to see what I thought about the first episode over there. And I guess this is just the announcement that I'm doing stuff like that now, doing these seasonals when I get a little bit of time. I've got a couple in the tuck ready to do. I've got the files. I just need to sit down and watch it. That would be for Heavenly Delusion, I think it's called. And there's also that other, the Mappa one, the one that's seemingly the shonen one. I'm going to watch that one, sure. Magical Girl Destroyers is also on the radar, I guess you would say. So if you want any input into the process there, Discord is your place to do that. If you wanted me to watch something that's currently airing, that'd be cool, I think, if you feel passionate about that. Either way, as always, we're going to jump into the comments from last week, Hanamonogatari Episode 2. It was a little bit of a doozy, so we'll see what you guys had to say. First comment here from Protector of Ruby. Just calling out that Best Girl Kaiki returns and looking very snazzy as well. A little bit of facial hair that I wasn't not a fan of. It was just a little bit weird. It weirded me out. I don't know how else to say it really. Yeah, just kind of nothing substantive. Just hey, fake Ghostbuster man's back, along with seemingly gender fluid, totally normal student Augie. Yes, totally normal indeed. Yeah, interesting one with Augie, but I'm sure we're going to get into that at some other point. Next comment here from Oh This Guy Again. During Kaiki's death scene, I remember myself the usual reaction of, well shit, best girl is gone. Oddly enough, when I watched Hanamonogatari, I don't remember being surprised by Kaiki's return at all. Don't get me wrong, I questioned how, but soon ignored it. However, after realizing this, I tried to figure out why, and randomly one day it hit me. Harbor and yeah, it's the opening lines of Queen Monogatari, and oh, this guy again thought of them subconsciously. Now, of course, I've watched this over a month and a half, so I don't remember this line. It's one of the disadvantages of doing it week to week, like I do. You know what I mean? Like you just miss stuff, and this is a lot of what the discussion around watch order is based around. As I've discovered, there's been a little bit of a discussion in the Discord as well as in further comments about how we're framing Kaiki, how we're framing Augie and her arc, or his arc, as we found out, and reveals, I guess, would be the other main thing that is around the watch order there. If you want to be a purist, I reckon put Hana where it's supposed to be, but I think my way has been pretty good for my circumstances. I've got some good pop off moments from the reactions to certain things and the tension being kept in certain things. Yeah, this is a good, I guess, thesis statement to a lot of what we'll be talking about in the comments, I guess. And what was the little reply here? In novel order, Kaiki dying, you're like, motherfucker, I love you. Yes. Because you would already know that he doesn't die. You'd be like, well, he's just lying to me. He's trying to trick me. And that's a lot of the value there in complete novel order, right? You get that side of the reveal instead of the opposite side, which is what I get, right? Which is that, oh, he's back alive. That's awesome. Instead of, oh, he's tricking me, you bastard, right? That's the difference. Next comment here by Parnek, going through a number of important Kaiki lines. This one we've already kind of played out. It's kind of foreshadowing the death at the end of the arc. The kid still attacked him, but the fight played out somewhat differently, so Kaiki was essentially lying to us, as he is wont to do, of course. And yeah, this one's going into a little bit more of Kambaru's mother, with some context saying it was an unrequited love and that she died in a traffic accident anyway. While I know love, I don't know losing it. Isn't this not losing it? I guess he's still in love is the idea there. And yeah, his go-to tragic death is always a car accident because of that. It just makes sense. So when he's trying to fool Nadeko, goes to the car accident. I think there's some stuff in Nisei Monogatari where he goes for the car accident as a little bit of a lie. I think it's Senju Gahara's abuser, I guess you would call him, right? Anyway, he's just trying to make her feel better. It puts a way different spin on a bunch of stuff. Simon with a funny little, I guess, observation, I guess I would call it. Pretty good beard for 2 months. He must have to shave all the time. Yeah, it's, I mean, I'm sure you see my facial hair from time to time. It's bad. Like, it's terrible. It's just like full neckbeard anime weirdo. So I try to shave when I can. I just forget. Um, so yeah, I'm completely jealous of Kaiki in this regard. Maybe that's why I don't like the facial hair. It's a little bit subconscious there, subconscious jealousy. But yeah, he was looking snazzy. I'll say that. Interesting theory here from Aki-chan Des. I don't believe Kaiki is alive. None of the arguments seem to convince me. It wouldn't be the first time we see a ghost in the series. It also just makes a lot of sense for him to appear to her right now if he is a ghost. Of course, I haven't read the off-season nor monster season, so if it's explained there, I wouldn't know. I don't know what these are, but sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't see it, but that doesn't mean other people can't see it either. So, hey, go off. If this is what you believe the text is, I'm all for death of the author, and not in like a weird, like justifying bad shit kind of way. Like, the author doesn't matter. I don't care what they intended. If you think that he's now a ghost, he's a ghost. That's cool. You know? If that is your interpretation of the events of what has happened, that's awesome. And if you have some justifications there, even more awesome. I think that's really cool. Next comment here by G Bird. Only people Kaiki is willing to spend money on. Senjo, Nadeko, Kambaru. Missing anyone else? So, Nadeko, it's kind of forced. I mean, in the end, it's kind of like for the manga supplies and that kind of thing. Like, that's his justification for it anyway, but maybe that was a bit more on the spot. Yeah, I mean, for a guy that's all about like being tight and stuff, he does do it quite a bit to the main characters. I guess they are important. I agree with this. He definitely does have a soft spot for Nadeko from his actions in Koi. That's what I believe anyway. Kind of probably sees a lot of himself in her in a lot of ways. Next comment here from Gian Bueno. Best Boy makes his return, didn't stay dead for long, no. So first off, she falls and starts repeating, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. Parallels to the screaming I hate or can't stand non-stop from her initial arc in Bake. Just a little neat thing there, little reference to something that happened previous in the story with a different term. And also relating the two to the arm just makes sense. Just a detail, I guess, logistically that was left out of the anime. Kambaru left town with Higasa. Higasa? Yes, Higasa. To visit a university in preparation for her graduation. So that's why she was out of town. It wasn't anything to do with going and looking. She was just kind of out and about. John Bueno going into a lot of what I've talked about already with the watch order stuff. Like, the reason this arc would come before Koi is it goes full circle on the Kaiki arc. We see antagonists, then we see, Hana's Kaiki. Still looks bad to us, but a little bit more sympathetic, a little bit more conversational, clearly a little bit more open, and that kind of thing, right? And then we finally see him during Koi, as explained by Ononoki, the complexity of his character, his good side. You kind of get that satisfying, almost like Goldilocks thing going on. Actually, now we have more of a Goldilocks thing going on. Anyway, I digress. I think both have different strengths and weaknesses. I think, yeah, I agree with this, right? And the other side of it has always been Augie as well. So Augie is even more cryptic when you see this before something like a Koi, or you see it before Otori. Am I correct? I forget. If you see it before Otori, then that's it. Yeah, it was between oh my god, Kabuki and Otori, I believe. This is where it's supposed to go. Yeah, that would make the whole Augie thing just slowly get a little bit more ominous instead of like I'm right on her shit because I've seen a Tory by now. You know what I mean? And I'm like, she's bad news. Whatever she's telling you, it's bad news. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Yeah, but the trade off there is the by the way I'm alive plot twist, and then the whole tension with the Nadeko Araragi Senjo Gahara surviving scenario. I think I would go my way, but I've only experienced it my way. It's a weird one. And yet Kaiki's relationship with Toei, his obsession with putting car accidents in his narratives, the money monologue, you know what I mean? Like the one where he's like, I like money because it's not irreplaceable. You can always get it back. It means that he hates irreplaceable things that may have gone away, things that may have passed away. Calling Guy and Toy a thing, by the way, which is not very nice, but you know what I mean, right? it all starts to make sense. Probably you would get a lot more out of that Koi Monogatari stuff with like having this context already. You know what I mean? Like I would see that money stuff and I'd be like, ah, I know exactly what he's talking about, instead of doing it in reverse. And then Kramer has, I guess, not the opposite opinion to a number of people, but definitely prefers the watching Hanamonogatari early. You can't notice Kaiki's death is a lie. Yep, been through that. But at the same time, I still got deceived. You know what I mean? Like, it still worked. It was just like, oh, you bastard! I had it after the fact instead of when I was supposed to have it. Another few reasons: the flow of certain themes, such as time can't solve problems, which is Neko Shiro into Hana into Atori. A little bit of a we'll say. I guess no, that's already present in the story. And people change, I guess, their morality, their view in our eyes based on the perspective we're given, which is a meta theme of basically the entire second season. Hana, Otori, Koi. Yeah, we'll get three very separate perspectives there, showing us different sides of conflicts. Yeah, okay, I see. But that even starts with Neko Shiro, yeah, IMO. All in all, it's semantics. I think the whole thing kind of is. I'm happy I did it my way. I think I really enjoyed it my way. I see the value in the other way for somebody that is really into their themes and really into is really on top of the story already. You know what I mean? But I don't see the value in it for somebody that's a little bit more of a layman and won't get a lot of that stuff and kind of just struggle with a lot of the plot points and where to put things and why certain things are the way they are. And a second Kramer comment, just kind of going into a lot of the same things, the kind of money, value of money, guy and toy, and then going into the composing again, which is something I've noticed it's different. I would call it very good right now, but I haven't had a lot of experience with the new composer yet. I guess I'm going to make more concrete opinions once I have the whole series under my belt and can go back and listen to certain tunes and that kind of thing. Because there's been some standouts in the past for sure. I'm thinking that there's some killer stuff in oh my god, what's its name? Kizu Monogatari. There's some killer stuff in Kizu Monogatari, but again, that's of course, that may be a different composer because that happened way after the fact. Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on the music for sure. Alexander Dunkelheit, same kind of stuff again. Kaiki, Kambaru's mum, kind of says that it's just a memory now, one that isn't worth a cent. And again, liking money, hating irreplaceable things really makes you think about that in particular. Yeah, we've made the connection now, I think. Big old comment from Hot Wheels Kid. I think it was teased last week, if I remember correctly. Everyone beat him to the whole Kaiki thing, but wanted to comment anyway in relation to Watch Order. I thought about just leaving it, but I promised a long comment, so here it is. So a lot of these two paragraphs here are a lot more about the Watch Order stuff and novel order and that kind of thing. And kind of oh my god, Koi being a stronger ending to second season as a whole because it really reinforces themes there. I think that's very true. And the novel makes it very clear that Kaiki ain't dead, if you do it novel order, of course, and, you'd have to have some level of awareness, right? He's telling you the story, he can't have been murdered, that just makes sense. It's even somewhat insulting to the reader, like, that's part of its smug, you don't know if I'm lying, telling the truth kind of thing they have going on. And then, yeah, I think this is very true and something that a lot of people maybe miss, is that Kaiki, just because he's had a little bit of an arc, I guess you would say, but it's less of an arc and more just a different perspective put on it. But keep in mind, it's a perspective entirely informed by his perspective already. Like, you know what I mean? Like, more than anything else, I think Monogatari is about levels of grey. And Kaiki is probably the best example of that. He is a morally dubious character down to basically every one of his qualities. That's what made him so frustrating for me initially. I thought, hey, here's this guy trying to dance around and justify what he's doing when he's really just bullying kids. He's being like a bad guy and he's just trying to like, oh, am I good? Am I bad? Oh, what am I doing? Like he was just being a little bit above it all like that when I'm like, this guy's just like a tool. Get him out of here. That was kind of my initial feelings. And then I'm kind of seen Koi, done all that stuff, seen this scene in Hana, and then I'm like, okay, I see where he's coming from. I kind of root for him because he's charming, but I wouldn't say he's good. I wouldn't say that he was good the whole time. I guess that's what we're getting at there. I think, yeah, Hot Wheels Kid goes into a number of different things that he's done that are potentially morally dubious that people, a lot of the fan base, I'm guessing, potentially look over. And a few little extra notes here. P.S. She's worried there's a catch. Yeah, I'm right with that. That's good. Yeah, so she's just checking and making sure that everything's okay. There must be something. She something completely positive kind of just happened for no reason. There must have been a reason for it, and that's why she's a little bit worried. Doesn't want to let her happiness get the better of her there, which is definitely an interesting character trait for a Kambaru. And yeah, just the Yaki means cook. I did know this. I don't know why I forgot it last week. Anyway, and yeah, she's out of town for university stuff, of course. Last couple comments here. Dama Amancia, my guy Kaiki died, grew a beard, ambushed Saruga, beat her at the thing she's good at, picked her up like a cat, then paid for the barbecue, then leaved. Refused to elaborate on any of it. He's a he's definitely, again, I'm gonna stand by it. He's entertaining on screen. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of the likability comes from that. And last comment here from Hanari. In this episode, we have, in my opinion, one of the most important lines in Monogatari, not pertaining to the show but in life in general. No one has the same personality when viewed from all angles, and no one has the same personality at all times. Again, perspective is a huge thing in the show, especially second season. And now Hanari's going to go back to lurking. You don't need to. I mean, this was informative. I liked this. But yeah, if you don't want to shape any perception stuff, then maybe sit on the sidelines for the rest of the series. I don't know. It's up to you. Google Doc timeline back here again today just to catch us up. So she wakes up the next day, arms gone, or not gone, you know what I mean. And she asks after Numachi Roka to get some clarity as to what has happened. Can't find her, she's kind of skipped town. Augie, I think, passes that information on. A few days pass and she kind of leaves town to go looking for a college or something like that, a university. Going to open day, basically something like that. Ambushed by Kaiki, takes it out to eat some meat. I forgot about the whole meat side of last episode, yeah. A number of reveals regarding Kaiki's history and his time with Guy and Toy and his unrequited love and all that kind of jazz. And then, yeah, the lead into this episode is she's contacted the Fire Sisters to get onto the case of Numachi Roka. Where is she? How can we chat with her? Why did she alert Kaiki that I left town? How does she know that? Is she trying to get me off her tail? There's something up with me losing my arm, something about a devil collector or something, trying to collect all the pieces of a devil, so we'll see where that goes as well. Those are kind of our plot threads leading in. The ideas of the arc still got that god-devil thing going on I talked about last week, and a slow, methodical, kind of peaceful, I guess, inner-looking internal tone to a lot of the visual language of the arc. Just overall, just a really great-looking, like, visually distinct arc so far, I would say. Shoutouts to a lot of the stuff where they first meet Kaiki at the train station, I believe it is. Yeah, a lot of that stuff looked really good. I think they interestingly framed the room where they eat the meat as well. I think that's very well done. Other than that, we kind of really haven't even scratched the surface yet. IMO. We need to have another big long talk with Numachi Roka, and I think that's what we're going to do this episode. I think I'm just going to jump in. I don't think there's any point beating around the bush anymore. Just my show stuff before I do that. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation, comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you would like me to follow you back. And the Discord, join Discord, love Discord, Discord. And yeah, jumping into episode 3 of Hanamonogatari right now. Rightio, got episode 3 of Hanamonogatari up here ready to go. Let me pop that up on screen there. 24 minutes and 12 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly. As always, picture-in-picture version in the description below and using the Call Girls subs. Just gonna give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio. 3, 2, 1, go. Is it bad that I kind of feel like I've lost my voice already? Oh, we already here? I'm kind of just ignoring the text. I'm just going to read it later. Oh, we're back. Kambaru Senshu, we're back. Yeah, really scratchy voice. We'll say. Oh. Are you some kind of collector? Ooh, okay. Let me take a bunch of drugs. Yeah, I thought that may have been the connection. It did. Okay. Yeah, but yeah. Weird. They said the word. But he did, he told you about a collector. What's the distinction? What? Great line. Yeah. I don't think we're going to talk. Or maybe we are. Oh, the opening again. Great. Interesting. So I think I kind of theorized that last week that she was just the collector. Or at least said something along those lines. I forget what I said. Yeah, look at that. Kind of like a magnet for misery. Hmm. Is there a little bit of Hanakawa to it where it's like, warts and all, you can't take this away from me. It is also part of me. It's part of my makeup. Because why else would she care about, unless she has some inherent care for Namachi Roka in general, getting better? Why would you care that the thing that was making you sad is gone? I don't know. Always a great end to the opening too. Hello, Saruga Devil. Rightio. Pretty smick little basketball. What would you call it? Like hall, I guess. Bit of one-on-one. Isn't her leg absolutely fucked? Just send it to space. Because she used to be the defender, right? That was the whole. Interesting. Yeah, she toasted you. So is the devil stuff maybe a little bit of a road to redemption type bag too? Yeah. Like I can be better at basketball if I do this. Yeah, you're getting slaughtered. I mean, yeah, I think you're getting like destroyed. Okay, you put one move on. We can take that. No, why not? They're dishonest. Why? But dunks are cool. Nah, sometimes they're a legit strategy too. I don't think either of you can dunk. I'd be very impressed if you can. Like full-sized ring. I don't know, what would you do? Is that part of the plan? That is how these things work. Think of the little deal that Kambaro made. It's a long story. It was like 3 or 4 episodes. Essentially, I was jealous. Everything. What did you omit? Yeah. Oh yeah, the faster one as well. She like killed a bunch of kids. She didn't kill, but you know what I mean. Really? What clued you in? What do you mean? I hope. Ah, the shadows. Boorish boys. But do you want to? Can you read my mind? Oh, I forgot to talk about this in the ideas section. Yes, running. There's some problems you can't run away from. No, but you never win either. I don't know. Yeah, just a little smooch on the cheek, if I can speak properly. Properly. Oh my god, I'm losing it. Ah, she can definitely dunk. Okay. It's a double type maneuver. Did she jump off of that leg? Yeah, leg got better. Sir Devil. Okay, that's a justification. Cool. Yeah. No, but I took it as mine. What? The first wish? Ooh, like almost like a desert, like a tumbleweed. Yeah, please tell me. Why is your leg work good? Like it all stopped with the rotation of the ball too. It isn't a real Monogatari? Okay. It's a forward. What's under the devil leg? Yeah, monkeys don't have legs like that. Where's the other one? Okay. Okay, start with that episode. Alright. Stop talking about it, just do it. Normal thing to say. Oh, okay. I don't know, how good were you? Okay. Okay. Sokka Senshu. What's wrong with that? Just speed him up. Yeah, but that's just not how anything works. Ooh, I want to talk about this visually too. Okay. Okay. Just moved on to the next thing. It wasn't about the sport. Okay. Sure. Yeah, but I mean, legs are important in basketball as well. Okay. A little bit of a gamer moment, sure. What if we kissed on the Monogatari staircase? Any feathers? No? No. No. That's fine. It's just a stress fracture. Fracture. Oh. Okay. Bit more depth there. But how did the leg get involved? Where'd the whole devil thing come into it? Ooh. Hmm. They're fakes. Yeah, why did they do that to you? Yeah, why'd that make you feel better? She ran away. Okay. Go on. Okay. Perfunctory, sure. Hmm. I like the background there too. Okay, I think that's a bit dramatic. One error. Oh, okay. Sure. That's fine. You found you still liked the misery. Oh, the misery, indeed. So then I just did it. Yeah, but without the devil part. What about the devil part? Okay. Why did you say that? Just on a whim? Good old lie. Okay. Hmm. You fixed all my problems. But it wasn't time. Hmm. Unless there was some supernatural thing going on. Hmm. Yeah. I was gonna keep doing this. Yeah, you're a little bit fucked up. Good old misery collector. Okay, sure. Yeah, I want to know more about the devil leg. Yeah, I felt like I had a pretty good grasp of that as well. Sarcasm isn't like you. That's funny. Yeah, well, tell me. No. What's the choice? Are we gonna have orange slices or something? That's what I had at halftime. Is it? I want to hear the rest. You don't think? I don't think you're special. I think she has experience. No. Based. Okay, sure. I just want to know. 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 Why? She really beat around the bush there, didn't she? There were some little nuggets, so then I want to read a lot of the text, but yeah, that's the first episode where it's like, okay, all right, we're slow to a point of detriment here. Like, what are we doing? Come on. So visually, I'm like, this is awesome. Okay, we're using a lot of like visual language for slow stuff, like water going down a sink. I saw as well, like basketballs floating in air, like time pausing, right? And I guess it does make sense with a lot of what Numachi Rock has going on, with what Kambaru has going on with their problems and what they're trying to say with all of it, right? It makes sense. Is it watchable television 1 week at a time? No. But I don't think it's also meant to be, because think about how it was broadcast, right? Rightio. Any post credit stuff? That would be a no, and jumping into some of a bit of a relook on that episode, I guess. Not really much happened, but we'll see. So we're back. I've written a few things that happened that episode, but again, it's very dialogue based. It's very like backstory filling in, so it's hard to write stuff. But I digress. Kambaru finds Numachi Roka, presumably with the help of the Fire Sisters, and it's revealed that she is the collector that Kaiki kind of warned about, which really recontextualizes that conversation, considering that he knew about her and maybe knew about her collecting as well, and just gave her a little push in the right direction right there at the end, just to make sure that because he probably knew that Kambaru had used the arm, right? He's not stupid, and yeah, just pushing in the right direction to start to ask the right questions. Yeah, she's been collecting devil pieces. Her legs all deviled up. I think she says at one point she's got one other piece of the devil as well, but I don't know if that was talking about the arm or something else. I'll give it a reread. Either way, they take it to the court and engage in somewhat of a 1v1, which Kambaru loses. So that's a bit weird, because supposedly she had like something wrong with her leg and couldn't play basketball, so what gives? Yeah, she's got devil body parts. It's, not giving her superhuman strength, because she was already quite good, but it's giving her enough, right? There's then some sexual tension between the two, kind of, Kambaru, it turns out you're actually gay, and she's like, yeah, I know, or should at least say that. And then yeah, she kind of plays with her for a bit. we'll break it down. And then we turn into a lot of her backstory. That's essentially the rest of the episode, is dancing around that subject, getting some concrete answers, some not so concrete. Again, we're going to give it a reread, see if it's better upon rewatch. And towards the end of the conversation, Numachi Roka's like, "Hey, do you want to continue?" And then it's like, "Yeah, I do." But she says it like aggressively and makes like her make the choice to tell the story or not, or tell the story or give the arm back. She's being the aggressor there. Either way, she continues, and then the episode ended, and I got frustrated. I think, yeah, I talked about this already, but I think it's important to think about this episode in the context of how it's being told and presented to its audience at the time. This is part 3 of 5-part thing that is one continuous broadcast, hence no previews, hence there's no consideration into making this a weekly me watching it. You know what I mean? This is just how they split it up for the Blu-ray. And I think I have to understand that when I be critical of episode structure and that kind of thing. It's clearly already got a thing going on in the arc where it's purposely being kind of slow and methodical, and again, time stood still. I've talked about a lot of these themes already, and the visual language just takes it up to 10 here. Like, there's literally like slow motion basketballs happening like all over the place. It's just, yeah, what else could that be about, you know? So yeah, I understand why they've made the decisions they made. It just didn't make a particularly engaging episode. I'm tempted to watch another one, but I still haven't got any correspondence back of whether it's better to watch another one here or another one next week. I don't know. I think this would make a lame video, so I'm leaning towards watching another one. So let's dive into a little bit of analysis so we can do that. All right, let's start on this opening bit of text. Back when I went to school, I thought it was way too impolite to address your homeroom teacher without honorifics. So no matter how useless and unmotivated they seemed as teachers, I addressed them politely. I thought that made me a polite, well-mannered kid. But now that I think back, I wonder if maybe the ones who called the teacher by their first names had the right idea. I had the right manners, but I wasn't right. It's been a long time since I went to school, so I find myself thinking those things, ruminating on it. Weird. What does this even mean? Not addressing teachers with honorifics. What does that have to do with anything else? It's just a level of respect, right? Maybe they didn't deserve the respect because they weren't good teachers? Are we living in a complete and utter meritocracy where we're going to be polite to people based on their level of motivation at their job? I think we should just strive to be polite to people no matter what. By the way, that was Numachi Roka POV, which is very interesting as well. I think we got some Kaiki POV text last episode, so clearly we're breaking that structure where whoever the POV character is, these kind of thought segments in the text. Clearly we're just doing whatever we want now, which is at least we're keeping it separated into Hanamonogatari so far. I always thought that it was nice that these were the inner workings of whoever was thinking as they're thinking it. I don't know. I guess you would ruminate on this while you were in a classroom, right? That would just make sense. Weird one. Okay, I thought that would be a little bit more, I guess, content. I don't know what to make of that at all. As we see here, she has a bandaged arm. She already had a bandaged leg. She's collecting some stuff, baby, some devils. She takes a bunch of pills. What are these pills? No clue. They seemingly are like health vitamins, right? If that basketball dunking person is any indicator, right? So she's hopped up on fucking fish oil and like multivitamins and stuff. She's gone crazy on the gummies, and she's stolen her arm. She stole it through the forbidden titty technique, as we saw in episode 1. So this isn't the first time we see it, but like, come on, like the visual location of this conversation in particular is so like the afternoon light and the cramping of it all and the slow movement and the lack of animation. It's all just starting to be like, but move. What do we do? Just move? I don't know. It's starting to grate, I guess. Kind of the third episode in a row of it. It's probably the killer there, right? It works for one episode, but being slow perpetually is just slow. So Kambaru posits that Kaiki didn't know that she was the collector. No, he knew. So again, he never wants to be, what does she say? Part of the Monogatari, part of the story. Yeah, it's his rule to only offer up half of his information. He wants to be the good-intentioned third party in it all, never the main character of the story, which is extremely Nisio Sin. Oh my god, it is. He doesn't even want a supporting role. He wants to pull the strings from behind the scenes. If this doesn't describe anybody, it describes Kaiki, right? You know? And then I'm guessing this is Kambaru thinking, but he didn't tell me. Not so much his policy, but his curse, right? Interesting. So he can't be the main character. He can't do this. He's almost bound by his code of ethics in that way. Weird. Okay, but that's just Kambaru's perspective on it. Kambaru posits, "Hey, I thought you were just collecting misery. Why are you now collecting devils?" Then she says, "You're free after school? Let's do a little bit of 1v1. I'm going to show you why." I guess that's essentially what's happening, right? I'm going to show you why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then, yeah, with the context of the rest of the episode, we should see her, like, throw that arm out there with some force, let some wind past. This is, yeah, it makes her more powerful. She's very good at the whole basketball thing, the whole moving around thing, the whole sport thing that she loves very much now that she's doing something like this. Okay. Of course, that's the base level of why she's doing it. Of course, there's layers and layers and layers of other stuff that's going on here. Pretty nice sports hall, I will say, for a high school. I know that they kind of pop off with this stuff in high schools overseas. We don't really get this unless you go to a really expensive school in Australia. It's more of like, see, you guys may have the premium on this kind of stuff, but we have the premium on space. So if we wanted to go like play a sport, we would just like go out to a field somewhere. Where it's harder to do that in somewhere like Japan, obviously. So yeah, then we do some 1v1. It takes up not a good portion of the episode, but more than you would think, right? I think they keep it interesting by using a ton of different angles. So essentially what it's trying to say is that, okay, Kambaru is still pretty good at basketball, but Numachi Roka is extremely good for somebody that apparently has a debilitating injury, if I can speak correctly. And the animation quality isn't fantastic, but we kind of suffice with a bunch of different angles, right? You know, it's more about the faces, it's more about people reacting to certain things rather than it is a animation showpiece. And I think they make a good call here. It's what a lot of Monogatari has been outside of its few pop-off moments, which there are some for sure. I was briefly watching some of the poorer moments from Bakemonogatari, just randomly, right? And whatever it looks like compared to modern action shows and that kind of thing, it's way better than what it was. So we're gonna leave them on that, right? It's never really been an animation show, you know. Either way, she's just destroying, like, absolutely, like, get that bullshit out of here, like, absolutely, like, destroyed. She just fucks her up, basically. That's essentially what this is trying to say. She's been holding back her power level, potentially. They put particular emphasis on the strength of the arm in all of this as well, kind of showing that it is added to what is going on, right? She has a lot of power of that bandaged foot, of course, but the hand is prominent in a lot of the play. I think this is a good shot to finish us out after an hour of practice. We're laid out, we're very tired, and yeah, kind of at opposites, right? We're still on the same court, but we're facing opposite ways. Potentially, there's some conflict here in the visual language. It's very true. Numachi Roka suggests that Kambaru maybe should have dunked. It's probably an advantage that she would have over Numachi Roka. Kambaru doesn't like to dunk because it's dishonest. It's more of an entertainment spectacle and less of a way to win the game, right? So does that demonstrate? Okay, so one, you're wrong. I don't know much about basketball, but I know that dunking is a legit strategy. The players that are good at dunking, and that's why they do it. Like it's part of the game for a reason. People don't just do it to show off. But why does she's less about everything else and she's more game focused, right? She's also a bit of a purist. I guess this is what it's trying to say. And then we move into our conversation, which takes place basically the rest of the episode. If I could make a wish, would I ask the devil to make me taller? No, if I did that, I might end up killing all people taller than myself. Again, that whole monkey's paw idea to it all, but we've been through that. It wasn't quite the monkey's paw. She actually had a little bit of murderous intent the entire time. Again, reflecting on what happened to Kambaru. And then we swap the conversation to, hey, Kambaru, what did you wish for? What did you wish for on this piece of the devil to get what you wanted, right? If you tell me that, then I'll tell you that, and then we're going to spill the beans all together, right? We already talked a whole bunch using this basketball. I already revealed a lot of my secrets. You already revealed a lot of yours. So we're already on a roll. Why not put all the cards on the table? Again, this is essentially what the rest of the episode is about. So Kambaru starts spilling the beans. You can't call it a very interesting story. Just this and that about my left arm. Monkey's paw. I told my story while admitting that Araragi is a vampire. Ha ha ha. Yeah, so that whole climax would need to change a little bit. Okay, I see. So first she wanted to get faster. That was the whole like elementary school use of it, and that's why she put the whole thing away in the past, right? And then the second half of it is what we know from Bakemonogatari, of course, from Saruga Monkey. And yeah, Namachi Roka doesn't seem to make much of the story at all. She's just kind of like, yeah, it's whatever, sure. Either way, I knew you liked girls more than boys, Kambaru, and then she puts the moves on a little bit. And then we extend that into the metaphor about running away, of course. This was a funny part, though. Namachi Roka's like, hey, I saw those looks you gave to your teammates and opposition when we were playing basketball. I knew you liked girls more than boys. And then Kambaru's like, I thought I did a good job hiding it, but I can't say, I did a good job with great confidence. I think that's funny. Again, puts the moves on. You could solve most things by running. You could run away right now. People say that losing is running away. You never lose by running, right? You never even play the game. There's no opportunity to experience the misery that she is so obsessed with. So is it a thing where you don't want to run away right now because you actually want what I'm offering, right? Is that what it's about, or is it some other obligation there that you feel to the game and not running away? And she's kind of shuddering here, like she's legit like a little bit nervous about the whole thing. She closes her eyes, probably goes in for a kiss, and then just a little smooch on the cheek, right? So clearly a little bit of teasing, a little bit of haha, but again reinforces the themes of the episode. I quite liked this scene. I thought it was good. Numachi Roka just slams a mad big dunk, and this is the face of Kambaru in response to that. Again, clearly it's like, how are you better? How are you even better than before? Is this the devil's work, right? Yeah, in middle school you were never able to dunk. Why are you able to dunk now, right? Especially in comparison to our whole conversation about dunking being dishonest, not a part of the game. It's only something people do to show off. It's not an actual skill. I thought I admired you for your actual skill. There's maybe that edge to it as well. Yep, now that I've stolen your misery, the Sir Devil has also stolen its, right? Which also uses female pronouns for the Sir Devil, which I found interesting. And yeah, Kambaru, you can go away. Live a happy life, right? You don't need to worry about this anymore. And again, as I predicted, kind of, there's a little bit of, but it's my pain, right? So it's kind of a running theme through Monogatari. Think even back to Hitagi Crab. It's my pain. Don't take it away from me. I'm learning to live with said pain and grow from it, however painful it may be. It's my cross to bear. It's my thing to learn from. It's me, warts and all. And again, I love this theme throughout basically every time it's used in the show. I think it's really good. Specific wording we use is the sign of the sins I've committed. If I give that away, then I may commit the same sins again. And yeah, you feel some attachment to the arm, but it was never yours to begin with. Even before it was mine, it was your mother's. It was never truly yours. Again, how do you know that? You don't really know that. So your first wish was solved, that's why the arm got shorter. The first wish being that you wish to get faster, so she got faster, and then thus hand goes. Is that because she was running in that scene and didn't have to worry about the whole balance issue as much? Was it weighing her down? Is there something in that? Am I missing something there? Cool, now we get the basketball side of the visual language of this conversation. They're just floating past like tumbleweeds. Again, they're just in slow motion. They're moving in whatever directions. They're bouncing off each other. They're doing all sorts of... They're used to demonstrate pacing, and the pacing is glacial. So they could do a good job there for sure. They complement what's going on. I do like this one. It's almost like the stars are rotating around them, like they're the most important things in the scene. Everything else is orbiting them. They're standing almost in a place where time has stood still, where they're the only two that matter. I like this. I think that's pretty nice. There's some small commentary here around Numachi Roka putting off fulfilling her end of the promise, and is that the same as running away? And then running away is clearly the biggest theme in the arc so far. To be clear, this isn't an actual story, more like a kind of an afterword, right? Something not really that relevant, that important to everything else that's going on. It's the second time we've used Monogatari in Monogatari this episode, right? Yeah, Kambaru, this isn't the only devil I have on my body, though, the one on my leg, because she's just ripped that cast open and showed something very similar to Kambaru's arm on her leg. So what is the other devil that she has on her body? I don't know. So yeah, and we go full kid and caboodle here. We go completely like full backstory mode. Uh, this is the first piece of visual language and one of the most prominent ones during this part of the conversation. I particularly liked the basketball draining around it during a certain scene. It's like kind of an innocuous, slow thing that you watch that's very meditative, almost hypnotic. But it's also extended metaphor for her normal life draining away as well and becoming whatever it is now. So she's always had this obsession with misery. She used to be very talented and very well liked and blah, 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 blah. So she used to view misery like, why me? Why am I the one that doesn't have all these worries and problems that everybody else does? There's some kind of fate there, right? That I'm the one chosen not to be like that. Probably informing a lot of her depression and downward spiral when the whole stress fracture thing did happen. It's like her whole world's falling apart. So she first was interested in soccer. She played with the boys. She beat the crap out of them. She was essentially better than them all. And in that environment, she's like, hey, if everyone had the same level of talent as me, they wouldn't be hating on me for that, right? A girl being better than boys at what they're supposedly supposed to be good at. So since that point in time, right, since being hated for my talent, I strove to hide it, kinda. Never did anything crazy, but what she said is, right, when she turned to basketball away from soccer, where her skill was with her legs, she chose to play something with her arms, right? A little bit of a turning the difficulty from easy to normal, I think is what she says, right? She also chose not to play like a starring role. She chose to be a dour defender instead of being somebody that, could go and dunk and be a, real playmaker or real like scoring player, you know what I mean? Again, keeping this kind of circular, again, hypnotic, slow, meandering imagery, just slowly kind of walking down the stairs, these famous Monogatari stairs, of course. And to me, basketball was normal. Again, once she'd lost something like basketball, this sense of normalcy, she actually decided that she actually really loved it, right? And it was something that, once it was taken away from her, that was only when she realized how much she actually enjoyed it. And then, yeah, lo and behold, hey, she's maybe working on this thing too much. Some stress fractures in her legs. She doesn't recover from them. And then it all folds out from there, right? The point of it is that it wasn't some kind of divine punishment for me being the way I was, or some god maybe doing something. Again, juxtaposing with the devil, it was me. I was the one responsible for it. It was me that overused it. Yeah, even add into the water type imagery, right? They're around the pool now. They're circling the pool. Always Numachi's never very close to Kambaru visually. And then, yeah, we got water dripping down. Again, like the sink I was talking about before as well. And then, yeah, she became depressed. She was in her, hospital bed recovering and that kind of thing. And all these different people, the people that were never nice to her, the people that potentially hated her for her immense talent, were suddenly very nice to her, very pitying of her. And that's probably something that's informed a lot of the twisting of what has gone on, a lot of the kind of negative connotations to it all, that kind of hypocrisy there. Again, like the reversal of the whole worries thing, right? Now she has something genuinely to worry about, right? These other people going to her and saying, "Oh, we pity you," that's them kind of doing the opposite to what she's doing now. It's making her feel better. It's making them feel better by seeing Numachi Roka how she is now, right? They're kind of sapping that energy in that similar way. It's making her feel worse and it's making them feel better because they don't have that. Now, this is a very interesting way to look at pity and from Nisua Sin. I think it's very cool. I think it's very, very cool. So then she's like, wait, all these people pitying me and all this other stuff, right? What am I doing? What am I actually doing from all of this, from all this stuff with all these people that were never actually my friends anyway, right? So I ended up quitting school. I moved away. I didn't want to experience that feeling again, that feeling of immense pity on me. And yeah, is this a conscious decision to run away from this feeling? Again, adding into that overall theme of this arc. And then we explain a certain event. It was the kind of catalyst to everything that's happened since. A certain girl comes in with her worries to talk to Numachi. So this girl came in with her problems, right? And again, it was something quite innocuous, something very high school, that level of problem, right? And yeah, it dawned on Numachi that she just wanted to talk to somebody in a worse state than her. She wanted someone to talk about her problems, but she didn't want sympathy, right? And sympathy comes from a place of betterness, right? Like, if I was to say, like, spill all my problems to somebody that's having a great life, they would be like, oh, poor you, right? But if I was spilling all my problems to somebody that's having a way worse life than I am, potentially I'm going to get some better advice, some better, bouncing off points and that kind of thing. It's completely selfish, right? But it's true. Interesting. I think that's something that Nisio Asin has probably noticed about human behavior. But she made one huge mistake in this whole thing, right? When she told me that story, I felt better about myself, right? It was kind of the equal and opposite reaction to what she wanted, right? There was some solace that Numachi took in hearing somebody else's problem. Hey, there's other people just as miserable as I am, and that's awesome. So that initial love of misery, or at least fascination with the concept, has now evolved into something a little bit more sinister. And yeah, that this is when the whole Sir Devil concept is kind of born. I thought that, hey, maybe I'm a shit person if I think like this, right? Wouldn't a good person be all sympathetic in that, right? But regardless, I still went on with it. And as she's walking away, right, she said, thank you for sharing your problems. And then this is a weird one, right? You normally wouldn't say this. I'll fix them for you so you don't have to worry about a thing. This is what she says, right? And this is a lie. It was just a lie to get her to not come back and tell me about her problems again. I don't really care, right? It was to get her to stay away and kind of just a general wish for happiness. But lo and behold, she came back at a later date, a little bit later on, and says, thank you, with a huge smile. All of her problems have apparently been solved, whatever problems they may have been. And, pairing that with a lot of rainbows, if I can go back a little bit as well, right? Kind of using this extended water thing we have going on, right? This is the end of the rain. You made it to the other side of the problem, And this is a prime example of what she means by time can solve your worries, and how that links into the whole running away thing. Like, she went to me with her problems, she waited, in the meantime, the problem just solved itself. I listened to her problem and I found it delicious and I was healed. She saw me as beneath her, so she was able to share her problems. And by entrusting me with her problems, she was released from them. And on the surface level, everything's good, right? I solve her problem, it goes away, and I get healed in the process, right? Yeah, I was able to save someone and heal myself. And an incredible rate of return. How good? And then, well, she's like, this isn't that good. I don't have to think about any other ethical side of it. This is just good, right? Let's keep doing it. And it became her life's task, and thus the whole Sir Devil thing has occurred. And yeah, this was the birth of misery collector Numachi. But again, as Kambaro will explain here, this is only half of the story. Where does the whole supernatural element come into it, right? Where was the whole devil element to it all? You've only told half the story here. So again, this is only explaining the whole collecting misery part of it. Where does the devil come into all of this? Please tell us, right? You're only explaining half of it. Please continue. And cool, now we're going to call it half time. We're going to give Kambaro a choice. It isn't an easy, medium, hard choice like it was last time, kind of that first choice to contact Numachi. No, it's a different one. It's a binary choice, right? The choice is you either hear the story or you don't. You can have a normal life here, you can go away, you can keep all the problems away, blah, 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 blah. You would be better off not hearing it. Do you want to continue? Of course, Kambaro wants to continue, man. That's the whole point, is that she feels uneasy that this problem is gone. She feels like it's too good to be true, and that she wants to either reclaim the problem or find out the reason why you've claimed it. And if that then links into a lot of the devil stuff, potentially the stuff pertaining to Guy and Toy as well, that other side to the story of the arc, then yeah, of course she wants to hear, right? And this is where Kambaro flips it. You're making the choice, apparently. You either tell me everything or return the devil's hand. I'm putting the ball in your court, so to speak. Then she'll continue. She throws a couple basketballs up, they bounce off every other basketball, and they all fall to the ground. And it's a tale of misery that apparently won't make me feel any better, but we're going to jump into it now. Yeah, and I'm going to jump into it now because I really want to know what it is. And I've got some correspondence from people in Discord that apparently 3 and 4 is better to do. So yeah, I'm going to do that now. Just going to bring the episode up. Overall, yeah, again, I have my misgivings about the episode and how slow it felt, but again, you have to think about how it was presented, and yeah, I've been through it. I've come to terms with it. I think the conversation itself was a lot more interesting once you break it down and reread it a second time. I find that a lot with Monogatari. Either way, going to bring up episode 4 right now. Rightio, got episode 4 of Hanamonogatari up here ready to go. Let me pop that up on screen there. Oh, I should shut the thingo as well. Hang on. There we go, fixed up. 25 minutes and 20 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly. As always, picture in picture below, and Call Girl subs, as I'm sure you already know. Either way, gonna give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, she is. Oh, the stage! Think about it. I don't know everything, I just know what I know. Art style change? Indeed. Okay. Well, they seem better than they had been now, right? These must be really bad stress fractures, right? Hmm. Yeah, right. Indeed. I see. Okay. How so? The same way I'm not condoning your misery collecting. He does. Some people. Others, not so much. Perspective. Indeed. Yes, I got it. Yeah. Yeah. This is a lot of what the comments were talking about. I don't think anybody gets along with Kaiki. Oh, he's such a loner. Yeah. The occult. They do. Kind of. Again, it's all perspective. Okay. Oh, and then opening. I thought we were just going to skip the opening, honestly, but sure. It's not like I'm going to complain about it. Okay, now this is our location that we're doing a lot of the episode from, too. Makes sense. I'd just watch like a wholesome Yuri about these two. I don't know. I don't know about all this basketball devil stuff. That part goes hard though. I do like how we're mixing up the basketball hall a little bit. So, like, it got a little bit long in the tooth with the basketballs, so we had to use some different locations last episode. So we're in a hospital bed for part of it. We were up on the roof and doing in the staircase and all that kind of stuff, right? Now we're using a stage, and of course, very pointed, very much a look at Kaiki as well. Um, Kind of like how I don't know if any of you have ever done like school musical theater or anything like that, right? But you'd normally set up a stage in a basketball arena such as this. Just kind of fits, right? And this is our second unique art style too. Collection of Misery. Hanadori Roka? Okay. Sure. Who is that? Okay. Sure. So is this a devil or misery? Yeah. Okay, the first devil. Gotcha. Huh. Sounds like someone we know, huh? Oh, well, yeah. Whoa, okay. I don't know about the ripping sound there, sure. Jeez. Yeah, it's giving me similar vibes. Yeah, no, it's obviously going to take that kind of negative thing. Hey, in Kambaru's case, she always wanted to kind of kill the guy. It wasn't like a monkey's paw situation, so Hanadori may not be as nice as we think. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's different to how it was before. It seems to come from genuine sympathy. Huh. Interesting. Okay. The god devil just manipulating people, right? Yeah. That's a difference, for sure. Also, what is the name? Because Hanadori Roka would imply some relation, right? Irresponsible. Oh. Any titty grabs in there, or just no? I like this almost like by like candlelight as well. Hmm. Oh. What did he have to say? He does call himself that. Cost. To really help her. She really got you, huh? Yeah. Yeah. My leg now. And of course, it's that same, probably leg, right? The one that's injured. Ooh, okay. So these are like for gymnastics or something, right? Oh, okay. I guess I'll read that later. Yeah, look at my sick dunking. Ah, I don't like feet. Yeah, it's literally almost like your legs being healed, but a different way. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, exactly. That same way, other people would talk to you because they thought that you were in a worse state than them. Yeah, give me another devil. Yeah. Okay. How so? Oh. Yeah, in a kind of a different way. A business rival is a funny way to put it, though. Hmm. Akuma Collection. Whatever you say. Devil Neck. Music's quite good. Just noticed it. Yeah. And of course, she wanted to hear about the devil story, right? Because she wanted that misery as well. Hmm. Like Kambaru's backstory, like Suruga Monkey. Oh, yeah. That's what I would have thought too. Get all the pieces of Exodia together, what happens? You win the game. Oh, I don't think you're strong enough. Ah, okay, bye. I think we will. And let me bear it all. Yeah, and I'll go off and live my devil life. You could have, but you thought you couldn't. That's fine. That's the same difference, right? No, that's still my arm though. Alright. So what are we thinking? Let us know, Kambaru. Oh, not so good. Sleeping on a pile of BL. Yeah, just, you know, hard day at school, just gotta take the uniform off. What? Oh, is that the way that she used to have to do that? Okay, I see. Yeah, you can have a new normal human life again, if I can speak correctly. Answer the phone. It's giving me anxiety. Who? Oh, okay. Hello, Karen. No, just kind of trying to. What? Yeah, yeah. What about it? Oh, did I guess Rorka found her then? Yeah. Yeah. What? How? What? What do you mean? Is she a ghoul? And killed herself, did she? Oh, that's terrible. Well, oh, oh. Then why are you seeing her? And didn't tell you that at all. Huh. I found out about the world of aberrations. Does Kaiki know this? Yeah. Oh. Ha. Okay, that's cool. That was actually really cool. Righto. It's time to run. Huh. Well, I wish I knew that before I reread last episode. There's probably a bunch of stuff in there that's like, well, shit, she's dead. The music is fucking good, by the way. Whoa. She's running a long way. You running away from the problem? Or you running for a different reason? Yeah, fucking awesome. That's some good shit. That's some fucking good shit. How good was that? How good was that? Stunning. Stunning Monogatari. You don't need to break the bank for shit like that. You just need a good soundtrack and a good director, and yeah. That's that shit I like. I wouldn't lay down in the middle of an intersection though, like that. Yeah. Indeed. Mm. Yeah. Too bad. Oh, look at young Symphogear. Current day running Symphogear? What if you had that technique? Oh! Who is this? Who is this boy? I like the hair too. Who the That's funny. His hair's nuts. What's wrong with that? What's the driving age in Japan? Oh yeah, he always used to ride a bike, of course. Nah, now I just drive my car around. No, I mean, we're in a different place for that. Round car? It's fine. It's just driving what he wants. It's cool. Shut up. It's a first car. Nah, but like, I mean, no, I'm not made of money. My first car wasn't cool either. My car now is cool. Oh, yeah, sure. This is a pleasant surprise, by the way. I didn't expect to see Araragi basically ever. This guy's fucking hair is killing me. Something did happen. Am I gonna tell you all about it? Yeah, in her own way, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Surely you guys can like call or something, right? Underground topics. Yeah. You two are just absolute fiends. No, see, Araragi, he really likes to get to the bottom of problems and just solve them for people. We've been through that. Lost track of me. I just said what Araragi Senpai would do. He would try to solve the problem. To try to get rid of the aberration, right? He's stubborn. He's a sticky beak. He puts his head into other people's problems when he shouldn't. Hmm. Hmm. Well, this is giving me end of Bakemonogatari vibes. Well, it is, but that's not. Nah. We don't do that here. We don't do that in Monogatari. You always save the goal right in front of you, don't you? Hmm. Yeah. That's a base level, yeah. But I think she might be worried by it as well. Oh, the keychain! Is Shinobu just like around? Is she just like listening in? Yeah, he does all the time. Well, they will, but is that running away? Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Huh, the mother too. Huh. Yeah. And that's what Araragi's always done too. The music is killing me. Yeah. This is so finalistic, right? Yeah. Great. As the sun rises too. They're killing it. Yeah, I don't need your shit. Also, tie your hair back. It looks like shit. What is that bridge? Ha ha ha. Great. End of episode? Great. That was a kill episode. I'm so happy I watched another one. I feel like that really added to things. I really do. That was a great choice. As a result, I may need to record a few of my thoughts of it tomorrow, hence delaying the video, which is no good. But I'm very happy I watched two. Very, very happy. Yeah, everything came together there, everything clicked, and now we're very, very much set up for our last episode of the arc, where we're going to confront Numachi on a lot of this stuff. Yeah, great reveal that she's been, dead the entire time and she's been a ghost. So that's even adding to it even more. It's not even like a human problem anymore. And then adding in Araragi is a masterstroke, right? Because he's been through this so many other times in the show. Seeing him and just picking his mind a little bit, he's not telling her to do anything. He's just reminding her of who she is as well. Yeah, this blew me out of the water. Thought it was fantastic. Such a smart decision. Just as I thought it was starting to stall too. Fuck, that was good. And yeah, as I said before, we'll probably wait on the analysis portion of that one, thus delaying the video a little bit, but it is what it is. I'll get some editing done on the rest of this tonight, which is good. But yeah, that episode was really good if you didn't know. Really picked up the pace again after that third one. Yeah, I'll talk about it more tomorrow, and I'll write my thoughts and do all that kind of thing, and yeah, present them tomorrow, I think. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Goodbye for now. I'll see you in a sec. And we're back. It's the next day. Kind of just slept on the episode, and really think it's great still. So that's good. It's good when you sleep and still think the same thing you thought yesterday. So yeah, I've written a little bit of a summary here. Just going to go through it. Kind of as a jumping off point for the rest of the stuff that we're going to do. So Kambaru continues to listen to Namachi Roka's backstory as she gets more into the process of collecting devils, how she got into it. There was that one girl that shared her last name from memory, which was a little bit strange, and gave her the leg and started the process of the collection and everything else in between. And there's a lot of kaiki business in there too that we're going to get into. Either way, Namachi Roka leaves the hall after fulfilling her end of the bargain, telling her why she's doing this, essentially, telling Kambaru her side of the story, her backstory, how she got to this point. And we're left with an ending that is a net good. And this is the most important part of the arc for mine. We are left with a satisfactory ending right now. We could leave. Okay, I'll read this point too, because this emphasizes it even more. Emphasized even more when Karen calls Kambaru back and the information that Numachi Roka committed suicide 3 years ago is made available to her. So let me break it down before we actually get into it, right? We have a process that heals Numachi Roka, which is good. We have people's worries going away, good. If their worries are too big to simply just go away from this aberration collector, whatever Numachi Roka is, then she alerts the right people and they help out. And from a strictly Kambaru perspective, she's taken away the one thing that was like the biggest stress in her life, right? The one thing that kind of personified her from the moment we even saw her, right? The whole arm dealy. So right now, we're sitting pretty. This is awesome. Except there's some baggage there with Numachi Roka, and does she seem well adjusted and happy and satisfied in any of it? No, she's just making it her lot in life, right? But from a storytelling perspective, we're not happy with it. We've just been told a bunch of information and there's no release yet, right? So what gives? It mirrors Kambaru's feeling, which is kind of pensively like, oh, yeah, I guess, sure. With our feeling watching the narrative, which is, yeah, all these things are net good, but we save the girl, don't we? And then there's that whole we save the girl thing, and that's where our old mate Araragi comes in. But I guess I'll go back here. Either way, she reflects on a bunch of stuff, goes for a run. She runs for a very long time. It's one of the standout sequences of the episode, I believe. The way it's shot, the music, it's just really damn good. Yeah, she collapses in the middle of the road after running so far, reflecting on everything that she's done up to this point. Kambaru is then found by none other than Araragi, who offers a ride back and some advice as well. This is perfect. This is exactly what should have happened at this moment, and I feel stupid for not thinking of it. He is the perfect person to tell her what to do in this situation. He really is. If there's anybody that saves the girl that's right in front of him, it's Araragi. And he's stubborn in doing so. This is almost like an extrapolation of Nadeko Snake, right? Where Araragi was left unsatisfied with the conclusion because he didn't literally save everybody. He got what he wanted. He got rid of the curse on Nadeko in that arc, right? It's just that the curse went to somebody else, and that's he hurt somebody else by proxy, and that's what a lot of that's about, right? A lot of that angst, a lot of that regret from this whole thing, is that he couldn't save everyone. So it's the same thing with Kambaru, where she's satisfied, right? Everything that she wanted to happen has happened. Why are we still feeling like this? And that's so interesting. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Especially in the context of the rest of the series. That's so cool. So I'm going to bring up the episode here, and then we're going to pause and have a look. But suffice to say, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was much stronger than the previous episode. Just a couple little different art styles that we're using, which were nice, as well as the aforementioned running scene, and then the stuff with Araragi. Just so much better. And they work so much as a tandem couple of episodes for sure. So mirroring Kambaru's curiosity to continue listening to the story, we have Namachi Roka continuing to invest in this whole misery business. And it's kind of characterized by this art style change we see here, the first of two in this kind of backstory sequence. This is the one before the opening. I think we go to more of like a shadow puppety style after it. I don't really know how I'd describe this one. It's almost the ED art style, kind of. It's, I guess, their movements kind of still like it's very tactile. It's very almost like stop motion in its design, like we're using like South Park, like we're using like cutouts and that kind of thing. I probably enjoy the shadow puppets more, especially when we start talking about devils. That just fits very much for me. But yeah, I mean, this is good too. It just, breaks up a little bit of backstory. Monogatari second season in particular has been good at this. Think about Kabuki Monogatari, was it? With the Oshino Meme letter. I thought that was quite well done using that art style there. So yeah, so something similar happening here for sure. So I'm trying to timeline here, like when does she actually die in all of this? So she's moved right now. She's still in hospital. Yes. Is she then learning that, like, kind of the information that she'll never run again? Is that maybe a catalyst potentially? And then we go into a little bit more of the devil stuff. Of course, I should have talked about this before. We're linking this to Kaiki. She's talking on a stage. The stage, the aberrations, the occult, the people backstage, who's pulling the strings, who's doing the lights, all these ideas. Of course, it just works. I mentioned in the reaction that it's also like when you're doing like a musical theater in school, they'll put you up in the hall, like the basketball stadium, something like that. Yeah, it just makes sense on multiple levels for mine. Either way, Namachi Roka getting more and more into this Sir Devil business, collecting misery, doing that side of it. Again, she's out of hospital now, but how much of it actually happened, I don't know yet. And yeah, finding the right ways to collect misery right now. So as she's looking into people talking about their worries, she no doubt hears about Kaiki and then moves from there, talks to them some more. That's just a pairing, right? The person that makes the worries and then the worry sucker-upperer. You know what I mean? Absorber is probably a better word. There's a couple choice lines here from Namachi as well about Kaiki. So it's like, I'm not condoning his cons, but you can't deny that he also saves people as well. Kind of, we had that discussion at the start of the video, kind of about Kaiki's characterization moving through in different watch orders and that kind of thing. We definitely have justified him potentially saving people in the past as well. So she's kind of straddling that line as well with her dialogue. I think that's kind of neat. Yeah, and then continues to talk in great detail about context and seeing people from different perspectives and, hey, one person's victor is another's loser and all those other sayings for the same thing we're talking about. There are no absolutes in this world, potentially a state of grey for sure. And yeah, she didn't really get along with Kaiki, right? That's why they kind of scheduled their stuff at different times. I thought that was quite funny. Because they're kind of opposites in a lot of ways, right? Where Kaiki makes the business, then she goes and fixes the business, and then, like, she has a job because he does what he does, but her job is also good for her. Like, you know what I mean? But also, how much of this even happened at all? Is Kaiki aware that she's a ghost girl? Yeah, that phone call, right? Him not answering his phone implies that maybe he does know and was waiting for her to figure it out. I don't know. It's all very weird. It's all up in the air at the moment. I'll need to relook at the scenes. And then Kaiki introduces Numachiroka to the world of aberrations. Of course, we know Kaiki's opinions on such things, but that didn't stop Numachiroka getting more and more interested. Is there something in potentially a teenage audience believing some of these aberration-y things a little bit more? Kind of their legitimacy and all that kind of thing? Is it all perspective? If you believe it's real, it is real. We've talked about this, I believe, a number of times, I think. We come back after the opening, and this is the art style we're greeted with. Again, kind of a shadow puppety style. There's a word for this in Japan. There's a specific kind of like puppetry in theater, right? Or am I wrong? Is that not a Japanese thing? And I'm being ignorant. I don't know. Maybe that's invoking that. I know that's a complete nothing anecdote, but we're going to keep it in. Why not? We introduced the Hanadori Roka, and she is number one in Numachiroka's Devil Collection. Again, we've got this whole connection here, right? The Roka. Again, I'm bad with the whole Japanese name thing, but I think this implies a last name the way they're placing it, right? So it isn't just a coincidental first name thing. There's some kind of relation here potentially. Why else would you give two characters that weren't related the same name? Now that I'm thinking about it, okay, maybe this is where she dies. Maybe? No, maybe not, because the rest of the story seems too legitimate. I don't know. The whole her dying thing, is she just like a ghost now? Has she been a ghost the whole time? Has she been a ghost that now sees this person and steals their worries and their devil away? I don't know. But she does say, okay, sharing the names and then the sweatpants, right? She was wearing the sweatpants not too dissimilar to mine. Like lots of similarities here, and then we have the whole leg situation, the devil in the leg. And she's got her whole thing about stress fractures in the legs too. I don't know. I'm guessing they'll extrapolate on this in episode 5, and I think I'm going to leave it at that. This is a great touch, kind of almost like a crayon or something on the top of the frame there, giving a rough texture to everything. The use of red with kind of devils and that side of things is pretty common as well. So good choices. So Hanadori Roka, her whole situation is that she likes boy. That's college boy, and I'm guessing she's a high school student. College boy gets her pregnant, and then the mum's like, "You should abort that kid." And then she's like, "No, I want to keep it because I love college boy." So naturally, she's gone to the devil for help, much like maybe a Kambaru going to her kind of devil piece to help with her problems. Except, like, Hanadori seems like a real problem. And, like, Kambaru's wasn't not a problem, but hers is way more serious. You know what I mean? Like, Kambaru's was, oh, the girl I like likes a boy now, and I don't like the boy because I'm jealous, essentially. Missing a lot of the context there, of course. But yeah, this one's like life-threatening, life-altering decisions and that kind of thing, you know? And of course, the devil did like the devil does and kind of twists things, almost like in a monkey's paw-esque way. Can we imply what we know about Kambaru's situation, that it's not actually a monkey's paw, and it's actually just a wish, that the daughter's actually like wishing death upon the mother? That's kind of fucked up, right? Again, mirroring Kambaru, goes into a trance in the middle of the night, begin kicking the mother again and again. Contrast this with, like, Araragi and Bike and beating him up, and, you know, there's your recipe. So Hanadori has cold feet about the whole thing, pardon the pun, and thinks like, hey, maybe I shouldn't murder my mother, and then wants to get rid of the devil off of her leg. And this is a very crucial moment for Numachiroka, right? Numachiroka now wants to save Hanadori, and that's a very important distinction. In the past, she's been listening to people's worries and solving their problems to make herself feel better. There's some selfish notion to it all, right? And this, whatever story that Hanadori told Numachiroka here, right? It was enough to make her change her tact, right? It wasn't simply absorbing the worry, taking away the worry, taking on the worry to kind of help and heal herself and do all that kind of thing, right? It was to help the situation, was to remedy the situation. It wasn't simply to make her feel better. And then this is the most distinct thing we've seen to the god devil stuff from the start of the arc, as we see it right here. Sometimes an angel can possess a devil, at least for an instant, right? What was the quote at the start? Angels, devils, doesn't matter. Humans are just their playthings. We're not so different, you and I. Things can be seen from different perspectives. One person's villain is another's hero. All these different things, right? We're calling Numachi a devil, but again, she's causing a net good in the world, of course. And yeah, there's that kind of past life quality to it as well, where Numachi has passed away, where, working from the other side in a way, And this is when Numachi held Hanadori in her arms. I don't know, man. I'm not going to drop it. I'm pretty sure that this is an extended metaphor for the whole suicide process. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Like, something's going on here that is not currently visible, but now that I have the information at the end of the episode, more stuff is being revealed. Something like that, I think. All right, what is this liquid falling from the sky? Tears? Said it was crying. Okay, maybe not blood, because then I'm like slitting wrists. Maybe something in that. Again, shouting at the textures. They're just fucking awesome. The layering of different things. The use of red. The drops. The light focus on the center, giving again the shadow puppets a tangible quality. There's a tangible light source there. Yeah, just good old Monogatari production stuff where they go the extra mile, Like, regular shows just don't do this. It's too hard. So Numachi has embraced Hanadori, holding her in her arms, repeating that she's going to take her problems away and help her and save her and all these different words, right? In an effort to help her, she meets with Kaiki Deshu. He himself is a ghostbuster. He may know something about these devils and all this kind of thing, right? Kaiki then says, it's going to cost you, right? Whatever you learn here, whatever you're trying to do, it's going to cost you. And she said yes, right? She'd end up having to pay Kaiki, of course. That's not what he meant. It's going to cost you something else. And then, yeah, she got the devil leg there. Apparently, since Numachi hasn't met Hanadori at all and hasn't talked to her or done any of that stuff, checked up and blah, 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 she's just left it be. And yeah, the actions potentially weren't entirely selfless after all. She did get herself this sweet devil leg in the whole thing. But the whole suicide side of it, her being a ghost side of it, throws everything into question. And Numachi keeps the crutches and kind of cast around her leg, one to hide the aberration, of course, and two, people are more willing to talk their worries to somebody that looks like she does, that has worries of their own. That's been the basis for an entire kind of Sir Devil plan the entire time. We've replaced all of the basketballs here with more gymnastics equipment and that kind of side of the whole school hall dichotomy. We've got everything going on here. We had the stage play and now this, and we're using them as a framing device to put Numachi in the center of frame, and they're just a clever thing to keep your eyes interested as the dialogue continues. Because at this moment, it's probably been like, if you watch these episodes back to back, it's been like a 25-minute conversation. I heard from Kaiki what kind of creature this devil is, right? He's a business rival. He too helps people's worries. The wording here is renders people's worries irrelevant. Think about it in context with Kanbaru. Like, spoke worry to devil part does its thing, probably completes mission, goes away, right? Is that not very similar to what the Sir Devil does during this arc? Like, just a lot more violent with a lot more, evilness to it. And of course, as you do with a business rival in our capitalist hellscape, you absorb them, right? You bring them in, you get rid of them. So as Numachi continues to collect devil parts, it throws new context on what Numachi has done for Kanbaru. It was purely selfish what I did, right? I took your left hand for my own personal reasons, because I'm just collecting devil parts. It wasn't about solving your worries or anything like that. That was just the next part of it as well, right? That just came along with it. Seemingly, this was the setup for future stuff before we learn the information in the next scene. She's like, I intend to absorb all the devil parts to absorb him. And I was like, good luck with that. The devil's going to take over eventually. Is that even possible? Sacrificing your body, throwing it away, not out of a desire to help others, not out of a desire to desire something of the completed devil. Is there any kind of meaning in Numachi's life? So it isn't like Pokemon. It isn't like we're collecting them all for some kind of gratification. It's just to absorb the devil and keep on moving. Like, where's the humanity in that? Of course, there's the no true humanity side, which is helping with noble intentions and all that side of it, right? Is there any kind of meaning in it all? And that's what we leave this conversation essentially. Now we're basically walking away. Oh, this becomes very sad now. Okay, I see what they were doing here. Yeah, that's terrible. Okay, essentially, goodbye, Kambaru. Have a good life. I'm not going to bother you again. Take entrance exams, make friends, and goes through a bunch of things that maybe a Numachi Roka, an alive Numachi Roka, would still like the opportunity to do. Something that has been taken away from her. That's pretty sad. I like that. That's a fun little twist after we learn some new information there. Yeah, because that's what I couldn't do. All of those things, right? And then doesn't walk off, into normal, everyday, everywhere else, walks off into the light, right? This is the end of Kambaru's moment with a ghost, not a conversation between two actual people. The last thing the camera focused on there as well was the arm going away as well. Again, this is still Kambaru's cross to bear, and a lot of her kind of angst at this is also informed by that. Probably something I failed to mention up till now. Kambaru is kind of laying in her room face down on the mattress, goes to take her shirt off, kind of pulls it down. It's like, oh yeah, I don't have any kind of struggle taking the shirt off this part of the arm anymore like I probably have in the past. That's right, my problem is gone. I can go and do all these different things now. Why don't I feel better? Why don't I feel better about it all? Kambaru then receives a call from Karen with some interesting news. I actually looked into this Numachi Roka girl. I think Kambaru then interrupts. Yeah, right. I see. I don't need you to look into it anymore, right? I talked to her today. It's all solved. Now, what I thought previously was that potentially, like, we just skip past the Fire Sister part of the conversation, but it turns out that Numachi Roka came and found Kambaru. That's how that worked, and that's why they had that conversation in the classroom. Karen says that it's impossible that you would have met with her today. What do you mean it's impossible? You couldn't have met her. Numachi Roka killed herself 3 years ago. And this is the bombshell. This is the moment that recontextualizes everything in the arc. I'm sure if I go back and watch episodes 1 and 2, I can also see a ton of stuff pointing to her actually being dead. Yeah, and then we just change tone completely. The music is just killing it. The kind of run to bring the scene to the end as well, like, just brilliant. Everything from now to the end of the episode, this last like 11 minutes, is brilliant. Yep, so she hurt her leg, she moved towns, she transferred to a new school, but still, she slit her wrists before graduating. Okay, now this is interesting, right? What did we know about Hanadori Roka's mother? There's some nasty stuff going on at home as well. It wasn't just the leg, potentially, like, that whole situation was exacerbating the issue. I should mention that was, she went and called Higasa after that to get some more knowledge about it all. So the Numachi Roka I'd been talking to that entire time was a ghost. She goes to call Kaiki, and he doesn't pick up. That little smile there as well, right? Like, you fucking bastard. He probably knew this entire time, right? Or at least, I don't know, it's weird. Because he doesn't believe in the occult, but kind of does, but kind of doesn't, but believes that other people believe in the occult, and that's what matters. Would he know that he's talking to a ghost? Or did he just think that he was talking to a girl that thought that she was a ghost, and now is just unreachable for no other reason? Cool, and now I get to talk about how good this running scene is, right? So we're running out of the city that's been well established to this point, right? And kind of into the sticks. So nobody around, but that's natural for Monogatari, of course. I like the muted kind of colors of it all. I like the greens going on. I like the fog, right? It's like this. Okay, I want to talk about something that's way more obvious now that I've seen the entire episode. Like, Araragi literally finds Kambaru when she's lost, right? And that speaks to both emotionally and physically, right? He gives her some guidance, pushes her in the right direction, brings her back onto the right track. So this matches in with our fog idea here, right? She's running into the fog. She's confused. She doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know how to feel about this. Again, this whole situation isn't that good. All parties are seemingly satisfied, but still there's some feeling here to want to fix it all. I can't help but think about someone like Hachikuji, right? Think about Araragi's actions there. He had the option, right? Araragi had the option to just walk away, and it would have been fine, and and that would have been all well and good. Problem solved. Uh, Hachikuji goes on her way and does all her snail stuff, right? But instead, he did Araragi things and solved the problem. He took some agency there. We need Kambaru making similar decisions, and I think that's the answer going into episode 5. Of course, running as well, linking into our running away from our problems idea. Would she be running away from her problem if she simply just continued to to let things be, If she allowed herself to still be able to run the way she's running. Now that she's running better, it all just fits thematically. It's perfect. The Araragi touch here, just masterstroke. Absolute masterstroke for sure. I don't know why I didn't see it coming. It is so blindingly obvious now that it's here. And yeah, he's the perfect person to talk to about this. Yeah, and this is the shot that sells it for me, right? Like, how fucking good is that? Just as the music kind of drops out too. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Alone in the desert too. Brilliant. Interesting to note that there was also a date change there as well. We've gone from the 16th to the 17th, implying that she's been running well past midnight. Kambaru gets to thinking about her form and how her form may have been the cause of why her legs hurt right now after a big long run. I would just think that the run would cause that, but I digress. What do I know about the subject? She's staring up at the sky now. She's kind of, again, metaphorically, literally lying in a crossroad. Like, there's lots of things to talk about there for sure. Like, literally a decision point. Either way, the form conversation gets her to start talking about Senjogahara's form. I think this is the point of that side of it, right? Gets her thinking about Senjogahara, thinks about her form, kind of starting to drift away, maybe to sleep. And then a car approaches, and the car, of course, has Araragi in it. That just makes sense. Thinking about Senjogahara, Araragi shows up. The senpai I've relied on for a little bit of guidance. Now they're here. This is also kind of, they lampshaded a little bit, but it's Araragi's final, not final, I don't know where the show's going after this, but it kind of feels very final of his role turning into that of Oshino's, right? He's the one now dispersing the advice, the brotherly advice to someone like a Kambaru, Those little pockets of wisdom telling her about the world. Can we talk about his character design, though? Like, what is he doing with his hair? How's Senjogahara letting him get away with this? He's also he's dressed like he's in like the modern portions of Assassin's Creed. Like, who let him get away with this? He looks like a Watch Dogs character. This is very on the nose, right? But literally Araragi transitioning from his bike previously to the car. He's grown since we've last saw him. It's also directly linking back to Suruga Monkey, where the bike was a big part of it. The bike got destroyed in that first conflict from memory. Got thrown into a building, I think. And yeah, this is just really nice because we haven't got a real conversation with Araragi since... he was around in Koi towards the end, but like ages. It feels like it's been ages. It really has. And then she starts dissing his I'm bad at cars. But his car's cool, I don't know. His parents essentially bought the car for him too, so we hate that. Boo. We hate you, Araragi, for having nice parents. He literally like stopped at a stoplight too, like a green light stoplight. Like, remember our whole traffic light idea? Anyway, that's a clutch at a straw for sure. Araragi asks, did something happen? Kambaru thinks no mind. Shit, despite the change from the bike to the car, or the car to the bike, he's still the same guy, So after this prompting question, Kambaru talks about a lot of things in pretty broad detail. Like, just feel unstable. Well, you've always been unstable, but, I had Senjogahara and yourself to fall back on in all of this, right? And now I don't. I'm left all alone. And yeah, it's nice to hear that Senjogahara and Araragi both miss her as well. You're the only one that can keep up with my underground topics. So in the same way that Araragi can't drop this like problem or whatever the specifics are of the problem that Kambaru is having, Kambaru can't drop the specifics of what has happened with Numachi Roka. And in all of this, she's lost a lot of herself in the process. What would be like her? What do you think like you is, Araragi, right? Araragi says that, well, I just tried to act like the senpai that you would like. Maybe in that way you've formed a lot of what I am. And then that it all starts to connect. Again, Kambaru now should know what she has to do, you know. She's being filled with that confidence from Araragi's words, and he probably doesn't even know it. Yes, Kambaru has lost sight of her objective in it all, of course, of herself in it all, and maybe a lot of it is linked to the arm. A lot of it is linked to that kind of, I guess, badge of what she has done in the past and what she needs to prevent going forward. That scar. Kambaru wants to do something about this, but understands that leaving it alone is the best move, right? It'll be the nettest good completely, right? And I keep using that term because I think it's very important and characterizes a lot of what Monogatari is about. It's about doing something, it's about effort when not needed. A lot of the show is about that. And then this is very pointed, of course, right? If I'm the only one miserable about it, then everyone else is fine. And what's the deal? What's the point of going up to them and saying, you're miserable? Maybe that's exactly what Numachi Roka needs. And that phrase, right? That phrase saying nobody is bothered by it, well, that clearly isn't true. You're bothered by it. And that's very, very important in life, in your life, right? If you are bothered by something, make that change. You know, go and try to fix things. It's a lot of what Araragi does as well, right? He isn't truly selfless in a way. Well, he is, but a lot of it is about him as well. He's doing it to make himself feel better as well. He thinks there's some injustice here. He thinks that that's the right thing to do, so he's going to go and do it. Of course, these are his words. A little flash of the Shinobu keychain there, maybe this idea of acting in a situation, potentially when other people may say they're fine with it, is characterized with a lot of Shinobu stuff. I can't quite think of a connection right now, but sure, I'm sure something like that has happened. Yeah, there's the line. I'm not trying to act like Oshino. You're doing a very good job at it, though. Kambaru rebuts. But one day, all of these problems, all of these things I'm talking about now, they will have solved themselves. Time does heal all wounds, as we say. Waiting out something, potentially running away from said problem, may be the best answer here. It's all starting to come together, isn't it? And Araragi calls her out. Those don't sound like your words. A lot of different people have told me a lot of different things, right? Numachi, Kaiki, my mother, all sorts of different people have been telling me things. Is this really who I am? Should I internalize a lot of this stuff, you know? Think about those really cold words from the very start of this arc, you know, from the mother. Like, that's kind of fucked up, you know? Kind of internalizing a little what she said. I don't think that characterizes the Kambaru that we know at all. It's the most simple advice in the world. Kambaru, you should go and do what you want. Since when have you been smart enough to think about what other people want as well? Little snide jab there. Potentially not the sharpest tool in the shed. Also, metaphorically, we've come out of the tunnel and now we're rising up the bridge, right, toward the light. It's right. We out of the foggy night through the tunnel and back to normalcy, back to home, you know. Again, think about Araragi's actions in all of this, right? He's always pursued that ideal, whatever he wanted. He's had arguments with many different characters on many different things, but he continued to pursue what he wanted in all of it, right? And yeah, the music's just hitting, it's hitting all the right moments, the sun's rising, like it's just beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff. Kambaru decides that she wants to fight. She wants to not just let things be as they are, she wants to solve the conflict, right? She doesn't want to run away. Araragi says, "Do you need my help in any of it?" She's like, "Nope." Very, very quickly, right? This is me. This is my fight, and I'm gonna make it myself. And yeah, we end with a little gag about the room cleaning, of course. But yeah, that there's the end of the episode. Look at that sunrise. Perfect. Just perfect stuff. So anyway, that might be like one of my favorite episodes. That's just so well done, that ending sequence. Like, just stand out to stand out. Just really, really fucking good. Like, it's such... Like, I thought episode 3, and this is really unfair to 3, was quite poor. Well, not poor. Poor is the wrong word. It's never poor. But not quite to the heights of the other episodes, for sure. Just kind of really fell into being just another episode. And I think this is the logical conclusion of that episode, why it needed to exist, and I would really, if you guys talk to any other reactors to this stuff, right, I would say, hey, definitely watch these 2 episodes together. It is very, very important for mine. Very, very, very important. But yeah, really, really good. Yeah, yeah, really, 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 really good. And I've talked for long enough, and I still need to edit this like tonight, so I'm gonna say adios for now. Next week will be Hanamonogatari 5. We'll kind of swap this with Kubikiri, if that makes any sense, right? So tomorrow with Kubikiri, maybe I'm just doing the 1 episode, but then the next week I'll do the 1 of Monogatari and the 2 of Kubikiri to finish that one up. I think that just makes sense structurally. But yeah, banger episode today. Can't wait to see the conclusion to this arc next week. Just some chill stuff before I go. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation, comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord, join Discord, love Discord. Talk about different shows on the Discord, maybe for the seasonal stuff, maybe for other poll slots and that kind of thing. Yeah, so it's up to you to use the Discord how you want. And yeah, I guess I'll say goodbye and I'll see you again next week for the conclusion of Hanamonogatari. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you later.